What's up, everyone? It's Scotty with MoneyVest. So, what a crazy week it has been in the markets with the Dow Jones hitting a new all-time high, the Indian stock market hitting a new all-time high, the nasdaq 100 at an all-time high, the S&P 500 less than 2% from an all-time high. So, we've got lots to cover and unpack. In this video, I'm going to break down, give you guys a quick recap on what happened this past week, going over a Twitter thread from Genevieve, and also talk about what is coming up for the next week as well with respect to the inflation numbers with PCE and core PCE, which is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, GDP numbers, Michigan expectations for consumer sentiment and inflation. So we got lots to unpack, including a couple of bond auctions, which are going to be very, very important. And of course, to top it all off, we've got earnings to look out for as well. As always, if you enjoy this video, find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. Links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining, and of course getting access to all the members only private videos. There's over 40 plus tutorials and lectures that I've uploaded for members only. And of course, you get access to all the spreadsheets, including my watch list, my buy and sell alerts, including our Discord channels and trade alerts and ideas and option trades as well. So links are going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And also do connect with me on Instagram. My handle is going to be CAS@WRP. Would love to connect with you there. I do post a lot of portfolio updates, P&L updates, and of course, other stories and polls and tips and strategies over there as well. So links going to be down below. And again, we'd love to have you on board. Now, this right here is a quick recap on what happened over the last week. S&P obviously rallied over 2.7% and only 1.6%, so less than 2% away from a record all-time high, which is absolutely crazy to think about. The Dow and the Nasdaq 100 hitting a new all-time high, the Fed holding rates unchanged. We had the FOMC meeting, so they are expecting 3 rate cuts in 2024 according to their summary of economic projections. And Fed member John William goes on CNBC and says that it's too premature to be thinking about a March rate cut as well. And that's one of the things, right? With rate cuts, we understand the Federal Reserve has penciled in that there are going to be potentially 3 rate cuts in 2024, but the timing of those rate cuts is still unknown. It's a still big question mark because we don't know exactly when the Federal Reserve is going to start cutting interest rates. We know that they will. We just don't know when. Volatility also hitting a 4-year low, so it's been very muted. It's been very low, obviously coming down to low 12s. Retail investors are buying the most stocks since March 2022. Jim Cramer also saying the recession is not coming, so that might be a very big indicator right there. And Apple also hitting a new all-time high, new record high at almost $200 per share as well. The German, France, and Indian stock markets also hitting a new all-time high. CPI numbers came out in line with expectations at 3.1% year over year. Goldman Sachs also expecting the Federal Reserve to start cutting rates in March, expects 2 back-to-back rate cuts of 25 basis points. Alibaba unfortunately hitting a new 52-week low, Pfizer hitting a 10-year low, and SEC holding a meeting with BlackRock to discuss its spot Bitcoin ETF, which again is going to be a huge catalyst for cryptos in general. And JP Morgan says Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in 2024. Pretty bold prediction right there. And 30-year mortgage rates are now sub 7% once again as interest rates have continued to come down, and US retail sales were up 0.3% in November versus a decline expected, all on the back of credit cards and debt that the consumers are taking on. And all-time highs for American spending, plus 50% of their income is going towards rent, and restaurant prices are also up to a new 24% increase since January of 2020 as well. This right here is another mind-blowing statistic, which I think is very, very interesting. And we've been talking about how IWM is going to have huge opportunity for money to flow into this particular part of the market. I've been talking about 5 areas in the market, and IWM, in other words, small caps, has also been a pretty significant part of that overall thesis. And the small cap Russell 2000 made a new 52-week high today. This was on Friday after hitting a 52-week low just 48 days ago. Think about that for a second. 52-week low 48 days ago, and within a span of just about 2.5 months, it's now at a new 52-week high. And that is the shortest turnaround time in the index's history to go from 52-week low to a 52-week high dating back to 1970s. So it's very clear that small caps are seeing a lot of momentum, a lot of liquidity flooding back into this part of the market. And that's all happening on the back of interest rates coming down, which seems to be very, very obvious, which we have talked about in our previous videos. And this is where, in my opinion, one needs to be going into 2024 is interest rates continue to come down. There's going to be a lot of opportunity in IWM. I'm planning to pick up maybe TNA, which is going to be a little bit more on the leveraged side, but I will be timing that trade really, really precisely because it is a leveraged trade at the end of the day. So I don't want to get burned on the way down. So we'll be looking at it very, very carefully, and I will be sharing all my updates, analysis, and trades with our members over on Discord. So definitely do check out the link down below if you're interested in joining us. So when it comes to earnings, we got Accenture reporting pre-bell on Tuesday. We got FedEx reporting after the bell. FactSet is also reporting before the market opens. Then on Wednesday, of course, we got General Mills, we got Micron reporting, we got BlackBerry, and that is pretty much going to be it. And then finally on Thursday, we've got Nike, which is going to be a very, very big earnings, significant sort of a retail play. We got Paychex reporting pre-bell, we got Carnival Corporation, Cintas is going to be reporting as well, and that is pretty much going to wrap it up for the earnings season of 2023. We are going to be pretty much done. It is starting to slow down and wind down for earnings season as well. Now, when it comes to the economic calendar, we do have some housing numbers coming out. So we got housing starts month over month. We got building permits month over month. We got the Atlanta Fed GDP Now forecast for the fourth quarter 2023. And of course, we do have existing home sales. We got existing home sales on Wednesday at around 10 a.m. Eastern. We've got the very important 20-year bond auction that's happening on Tuesday, actually Wednesday, December 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And this right here was the previous rate quoted by the 20-year bond auction. Again, if the demand is strong, right? If the demand is strong for these bonds, prices are going to go higher, yields are going to continue to come down. If the demand is not so great, if the demand is not so strong, again, it's a simple supply and demand equation. If the demand is not there, prices are going to go down, yields are going to go up because investors are going to demand higher yields in order to satisfy the basically the risk reward they are seeing in the bond market. This right here is going to be the jobless claims that come out every Thursday, of course. We got the GDP for quarter over quarter, third quarter. Price index also coming out. Initial jobless claims, of course. We got the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, Fed Employment Index, and we got 5-year TIPS auction and the Fed's balance sheet. All of that is going to be coming out as well on Thursday, December 21st. And of course, we've got the very, very, very important inflation numbers on Friday, and that is going to be your personal consumption expenditure, so PCE. And that's exactly what the Federal Reserve is paying attention to. So PCE, that's the personal consumption expenditure, as well as core PCE for the month of November and year over year. And we've got 1-year inflation expectations, and we got consumer expectations, consumer sentiment for the month of December. So all that is going to be scheduled for Friday, anywhere between 8:30 and 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, later in the day, we've got, again, the Fed Now fourth quarter GDP. We got new home sales month over month and new home sales in the month of November as well. Now going over to the market, so if you take a look at the S&P 500, we are again less than 2% away from an all-time high. Pretty significant breakout to the upside above 4,600. So very, very strong move to the upside here. And it's possible that December seasonality continues. As I mentioned, in the short term over the next couple months, it is very possible that December seasonality continues because December is the strongest month for the market, and we are seeing that very scenario play out because in the month of December, S&P is up a little bit over 3.3%, and the NASDAQ is up over 4%. IWM seeing significant outperformance, up almost 10%. The Dow Jones also rallying pretty aggressively to a new all-time high, up over 3.77%. So it's possible going into next couple of weeks also to close out the year, to close out the month, we get up to a new all-time high for the S&P. I have no doubt the markets can close the year at an all-time high at well over 4,800. And of course, the NASDAQ still has a little bit of ways to go. So it's less than 10% away from all-time highs, but it still needs to go up over 9% in order to achieve an all-time high moving forward. So we've got certain resistances and certain targets to watch for the NASDAQ. So next level is going to be sitting roughly around 15,300. And we'll go ahead and turn this level into a new support for the NASDAQ. But going into next year, going into January, I think we need to be very, very careful considering how overextended, overbought we would be going into January of 24. Not to mention there may be some profit taking that takes place considering that we would be done with the entire tax year and investors might be a lot more interested in kind of de-risking a little bit away from technology over to other parts of the market as well. So next resistance at 15,300 for the NASDAQ. S&P, of course, is waiting for an all-time high. And I think IWM is really where the momentum and a lot of liquidity is kind of going to. So hope you all enjoy this video and a complete update on the market and the upcoming week. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and what are you looking forward to over the next couple of weeks here in the markets. Definitely do check out the links down below with our Instagram. My handle is going to be CastWRP, and of course join our Patreon, and links going to be down below for that as well. I did open up a few more spots for the month of December, and there is a 16% annual discount available till the end of this month. As always, happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video.